Insecurity will have you believing that everything is insecure. People leave church mad because why you tell pastor all my business? But I haven't talked to your woman. I haven't talked to your husband. Your insecurity is coming out. I'm just saying what God gave me to say, but you're so insecure, you think I would spend hours studying to talk about you. Boo, I love you, but you ain't that important for me to stand up here and preach about. I've never in 20 years of ministry preached a sermon about anybody. If you felt that way, good. That means the word was reaching you. But don't leave mad, celebrate. Hey, I heard a word from God. I've been made better. But insecure people, I've been slaving for you for many years. Then he says, then he put on his Mr. Good shoe. I have never disobeyed your orders. Well, boy, we're not talking about you. I didn't ask you how early you got to church. I didn't ask you how many times you vacuumed the church. I didn't ask you how much money you sown in the ministry. Wait, this is not about you. This is about your little brother who had messed up. This is about a man having a second chance. This is about Michael Vick getting another chance. Why are you telling me about how many touchdowns you threw back in 1982? We're talking about Michael Vick getting another chance. The spotlight and conversation don't always have to be about you. I was at a high school football game a while back, and this young man was playing. He was scoring touchdowns. Now, his daddy is a pastor also in Northeast Houston, and we were in the stands, and his son was scoring these touchdowns. He said, yeah, he's doing good, Dad, but man, he ain't doing nothing like me. I said, man, did you forget? We went to the same school. You brought me the water. What are you talking about? But he needed some attention because everybody was telling him how good his son was, so he just started flat out lying. Insecure people will lie if they have to get attention on them. I've never disobeyed your orders. I've always been a good boy. Well, maybe at the end of the day, though, you stayed home because you didn't have security to go out and try it on your own. See, some people say, well, I ain't never been high. I ain't never done this. I ain't never done that. Well, maybe you ain't never done nothing because you're really not secure enough that if you happen to fall, you have the ability to get back up. And at the end of the day, I really don't want nobody teaching and preaching to me that ain't never been through nothing. Because you can't understand my story if you ain't never messed up. If you ain't never made a mistake, you don't understand from whence I come. If you ain't never been down that road, how can you tell me God is able to bring me out of what I'm going through? I need a fallen angel to tell me you can get your wings back. I need somebody that's been through something but can stand and say, look at the glory of God. He said, you ain't even give me a young goat. Now, they gave the bad boy a fat calf. This boy starts around, you ain't never even gave me a young goat. In other words, he was comparing what the Father had done for him with what the Father was doing for somebody else, and the spirit of comparison would destroy a ministry in a minute. Pastor always calling his name. Pastor always doing this with them. That spirit would wreck you. The singers get all the attention. He'll never say how good the usher's doing. Do whatever you do as if you're doing it unto God. If I never call your name, if the credits roll and they eliminate your name, don't you worry. Heaven knows. See, insecurities will have you filled with envy. But let me rush to a close. One more thing about insecurity before I bless you. He says, you gave that boy a party, and he took your money and went and spent it on prostitutes. But now I have a question. When the youngest son gave his testimony, he never talked about being with prostitutes. Insecure people will make up stuff about other people. Just make up stuff. Yeah, she lost her job, but an insecure person, yeah, she lost her job because she was sleeping with her boss. She decided not to sleep with him more, so then he fired her. Why you got to add the other stuff to it? Why you got to add your twist to make yourself feel better? If I'm going through something, I'm going through. Just say what I'm going through. Don't add nothing to it. Don't tag along your version of what I'm going through. The boy told you what he went through. He told you, I messed up. And you add a whole bunch of stuff with your insecure self. You know how rumors, gossip are spread by insecure people. But look what God says here in verse 31 as I close. God says, son, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. If you overcome the spirit of insecurity, you'll be able to rejoice on wherever you are. Because God says, you are with me. I would never leave you nor forsake you. I will supply all your needs. I'm not worried about what God is doing for the church down the street, around the corner. That has nothing to do with what God is doing here at 1201 Airtex. And as soon as you stop focusing on what's going on in somebody else's life, you'll be able to enjoy your own life. I pray today you've been set free. I pray today you've been released. I pray you understand today that if you get rid of the spirit of insecurity, you'll be able to see the goodness of God. And you'll be able to celebrate your own life. You'll be able to feel good about where you are, and I don't care wherever you are. I don't care how low you feel. I don't care how much you feel is going wrong in your life. When you get rid of the spirit of insecurity, you'll be able to focus on the glory of God. You may stay home, but with the wrong attitude, you might as well went out. You may stay in the church, but with the wrong spirit, you might as well go back into the world. But God says today, I want to set you free of all your insecurities, because God says, I want to bless you, and I want you to enjoy the blessings I bestow upon your life. See, God says, I want to give you joy for the journey. And you cannot have joy for the journey if you're carrying a bunch of insecurities. Today, as they come and sing this final